Echo.
Are we going? Or is this on?
Does that throw us off, though, if we both clap, or is it too late?
It does throw you. You just have to do it one.
Okay.
Is that good? That's done. We'll start.
We will start.
Hi, George.
Hello. What episode is this? I was thinking about it on the drive here.
19.
Jordan's flashing his hands.
30.
38. 1F.
10. Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Wow, can you do some party poppers?
Episode 10.
In the background.
We haven't killed each other. Jordan hasn't.
Wants to kill us.
Yeah, he wants to. I think, it's that. We were ignorant. I definitely was.
Yeah.
I kind of just went here to put it in some software and it will
Just do
it
a
will
podcast.
do that 10 minutes. Yeah, it'll be easy. I think he had someone, Jordan had someone recently and just went, I've got this cool idea for a podcast. You want to do it as a side hustle hobby? And he was like,
Start
no.
sweating.
Yeah, he was like, no, I'm not doing it. He even came to me with it. It was like, yeah, I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I think I can imagine it's fun. The idea of for a lot of people, it is thing, but it takes that time, doesn't it? It's the build up to get somewhere, and you have to kind of make it fun and enjoyable. We kind of talk about it before, don't we? A couple of days before we go, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? Yeah. So, from that point of view, it's good.
There is some planning that goes into this.
Yes, there is some like a steer, isn't there? We get nudged in an area, and then we just go off on one.
Yeah.
I certainly do, anyway.
You don't. It's always coherent and well structured, and it comes out really well.
Yes, good acting. Yes, paid the big bucks.
Before we get into anything, we have a little bit of a tradition, Tristan, don't we?
We do.
What's on the wrist, my friend?
I have got myself a new swatch.
Not the.
No, I've got the real one. I've got a Royal Oak 39mm. I don't know the reference. I know it's got a JLC movement in it. It's 39mm, white dial, dual time. It's a really nice. It's. I think it's one that. It's one you could appreciate the intricacies of a bracelet and the merging of it, the thinness. Yeah. It's one of the few times I think you can pick up something like that and go £25,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. But you can see the intricacies and how well put together that bracelet is, and the merging, the wrap around the wrist. It does feel like a special watch.
Crown.
Yeah, and the dial, just even the dial, the way the dial's cut, and it's
almost like a honeycomb pattern,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's a really nice piece, and it was one of the. I remember when I was 6 months into watches, and I remember I was starting out in the car industry. And it was really good. Like, it was very high commission. I had a couple of good months. My missus was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And the AP was the first one where I realised I went in too thick, too fast into watches. I went from a Maurice Lacroix, a Navi timer, a Rolex Submariner. Someone commented on my Rolex Submariner, so I sold it because I felt bad. Someone was like, "Well, you can do an extra £1,000 off the car because you've got a Submariner on your wrist."
Oh, really?
Sold it.
Reverse snobbery.
Yeah, reverse sobbery. And then in the end, she said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And this was back when they were like, if you have a white dial Royal Oak, you get 20% off. You can have a blue dial for 15% off. I went, well, give me the 20% off one. Got it for Christmas.
Right.
And it was after 6 months of getting into watches. It was the worst watch I ever owned.
Wow, really?
I think I wasn't ready for it. That was where I went in too thick, too fast. That I had somewhat the balance for it, but not enough from the comfort point. I damaged the bezel. They were like, it's £3,000. It was gaining 14 seconds a day, and they were like, well, they're not cost regulated. It gained 15 seconds. I was like, my goodness me. Thankfully, it was like a £12,000 watch new back then, and I managed to get out at the same price. So that was my first put the brakes on into watch collecting. Too much too soon. So it's nice to get one back. Nice piece. 39mm right size. Yeah, definitely. So there we go. That's mine. We got.
What do I have? So it's actually something I picked up really recently, and it was one of those impulses where I saw it, and I saw it, and I saw it, and the price kept going down and down and down and down, and I thought, I'm just going to do it.
Oh.
So it is the Christopher Ward beast.
That is.
You can overlay that one with some graphics as well, please,
Yeah.
Jordan. The beast. C60 600 chronograph. It's a big old thing, 43 mil. So it sits quite high, takes up pretty much all of your wrist.
I was about to ask what's going on with the sub-dial. What is it, like some sort of seconds
So it's a second
counter in a weird way?
Yeah, I find it mesmerising is the word I use.
It's different, isn't it?
It is different.
There's lots about it I like. Is this... There's still a little bit of old design in this one,
That's
though.
I want to say 2017.
So would you say this was before we saw the complete new design of things? So I'd say the hands are almost slightly old
That's
design.
right. Yeah, what you used to see with the Trident divers.
Yeah.
Different hands. This one is slightly newer in that it has the Christopher Ward fully written rather than CHR dot
Yes,
Ward.
but you can tell like the bezel pip looks old school.
That's right.
Bezel pip, yeah.
That's right.
And cool to have because I mean, I don't know what these go for, but real Planet Ocean vibes.
Do you think so?
But I would say early Christopher Wards had Planet Ocean. I don't know, maybe I'm
You've
wrong.
said that before,
I feel I would associate. If someone said to me Christopher Ward early days, I would imagine they were trying to get Amiga vibes. I don't know if that was intentional, whether or not I just got that impression. But I'm thinking orange bezel, black dial,
Yes.
Planet Ocean 42, that sort of thing.
Ridiculous depth ratings for a £600-700 watch.
Yeah, you're not going to go to more metering or go in the shower with.
And this was a watch that, and it's very rare for me to do this nowadays, mate, is that I bought it almost worrying or thinking
Yeah.
that it was going to be too big for me and I wasn't going to like it. And it arrived, and it's been with me now for about a week.
Yeah.
I've probably worn it 80% of the time that I've worn a watch.
I say it, and I'll say it again, lug to lug.
Absolutely.
Lug to lug. It is so many people focus on the case size.
Yep.
43 sounds big, but when you look at a lug to lug and go, that's 49 mil, 50 mil or under, sign me up.
And the thing with this, I always used to be known as someone that would only wear their watches on straps and I wouldn't wear the bracelets. I tried this on a strap the other day and it was ridiculous, frankly, because it's so heavy, top heavy.
Yeah. I don't think it will curve nicely enough either.
Flopped around,
Yeah.
if I can use that.
You probably
But,
need those end links to structure the curvature. Yeah,
very
makes sense.
mathematical
Yes,
and
yeah.
geometry.
Didn't know where I was going while I was using brain cells there and I didn't want to.
But no,
got scary.
enjoying it, and yeah, the Christopher Ward fanboy era goes on.
Good. I like it. It probably teases in nicely to our discussions this week. I think we should probably talk about... We were going to talk about Watches and Wonders, and then Swatch went, hold my beer.
Yeah.
And we're now going to make it 2026 watch
Stuff.
chat stuff. Yeah, just 2026 stuff. So, Swatch.
And a brand that if you'd have asked me before they did the drop,
Yeah.
what's the next Swatch collab going to be, I would never in a million years have guessed AP.
I see. I would have done.
Would you?
Yeah. Well, I think it's that. I think it was documented how pally both the CEOs were.
Right.
It was documented AP's praise of what they were doing.
Yep.
I even think they put out a post once saying, when are we next, when they did the 50 fathoms.
Right.
So I think it was almost like it kind of made sense. I think it's a really clever thing. I'm trying to work out where it fits in the market, the pocket watch snap element. Whether are they doing that as a... I don't know, I'm trying to think where, as a collector, like I wouldn't know what to do with it. I would almost wait for a really good strap manufacturer, like someone like D-Lugs, for example, to just produce...
Like they did with the Christopher Ward 12.
Yeah.
Bring
And I
out
almost
a
go,
nice aftermarket.
yeah, do they know they're doing that? Because obviously they've got, 5 colours which are crown up, and they've got 2 colours which are crown to the right.
Are they the small seconds ones?
They're the small second ones. So are they almost saying the small second ones are ready to go into a bracelet configuration? Are they going to release it? I think as it stands, I can't work out who is their target audience. Are they trying to go for kids' backpacks and handbags and gym bags? I don't know.
For me, do I like it? Absolutely not. Sorry for the, straightforward view there, but it's not something I would ever own, but I don't think I'm the target market. Do I think it will have people queuing round corners to buy it and then probably half of them flipping it later that evening on eBay.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Well, we're already seeing that now, aren't we? I've already seen like the funny influencers already putting out the posts like the first day it was kind of announced. I think this has been the first one that I would go out and buy. Like I remember sending senior management out, my wife, to go and get the first swatch. And I remember she was like, oh, no, it's fine. The store opens at 9 o'clock. I'm just going to get there at 8:55. And she got there and was like, yeah, you're not getting one. And she witnessed like balaclava people outside being like, give me the damn watch. And was like going, welcome to London sort of thing.
Yep.
The 50 fathoms one, I just looked at the thickness and went, why? Wait, what a way to ruin potentially something that could have been really good.
Yep.
This one, I'm going to say it, I'd actually buy a couple of these.
A couple?
I'd actually buy a couple. Yeah, 100. I would.
Would you have one of those massive, great big metal suitcases full of them?
Maybe. You got to have the set, haven't you?
You have to. If
You have to have the
one,
set.
You may as well buy 7 or whatever.
Exactly. I've not bought a moon swatch. I've not bought the 50 fathoms. Yeah, I think this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this one's sapphire. I like the fact it's manual wind. I like the fact it's 90 hours. So like from a spec point of view, I go check. I like it. I'm excited to see who produces a rubber strap and a bracelet because I'm a huge fan of the Casio. I really like the Casio watch.
A lot of people are.
Yeah, I think that's... And could AP have gone, we didn't get in on that. Mm-hmm. Let's do something here. Let's kind of milk this. But I'm very pro this collab. I think there's probably a lot of people with a really big watch collection who are really fortunate to own some incredible watches going, this is ridiculous, don't do it. But you can also at the same time, it introduces watches to people that maybe, might save up 200-300 quid. Like I know full well my son, it's the type of thing that he would be like, that's, that save a lot of pocket money, but he would enjoy something like that. He's got like a Flick Flack and those type of watches. And, I think it's certain watches that kind of connect, the brands. And I like the fact they're going, let's take the top, connect it down here to a brand that I think the industry has a lot to thank for with what happened in the past. So I don't know. I'm sign me up. I like it. I think it's their best swatch release. But I think it'll only be the best release once we see what's produced as a offshoot extra product point of view.
Okay. So we're here for it.
Yeah.
Swatch, AP.
Yes.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. It's going to be a hype train, though, whenever it
Early
is.
days, yeah.
Whenever it drops in the shops, it's going to be massive.
I think it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it tomorrow?
Or last week?
Last week before we were recording.
Some people are going to be looking at their wrist, hearing us talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting. But there has been some other exciting watches that have been released, which I always struggle with, because I think being in the pre-owned market, I look at the pre-owned prices and go, yes.
Right.
When the new stuff gets produced, I then go, no. And I'm not going to spend it. But I think there's definitely been some exciting stuff. The Rolex ones probably didn't excite me, but I wouldn't say I'm probably their target audience from a Rolex perspective.
I think the reaction to what Rolex put out at Watches and Wonders was quite muted.
But would you say it was muted because of what they did last year with the Land Dweller?
Possibly. Yeah, maybe. And I think the biggest thing that I saw, as much as anything, was the discontinuation of the Pepsi.
Yeah.
And that ultimately, I think, stole a lot of headlines. And then probably some of the newer releases were maybe seen as being a bit run-of-the-mill, maybe not quite as exciting as people had hoped.
But I do think I think it was one of those ones that I think there's probably the majority of, especially a lot of Rolex owners, were almost seems like people wanted the Pepsi to be discontinued. That's the way differently it came across. I could sort of see it. It was almost like watch retailers wanted it to be discontinued. It was like it's finally going to be done. They've been cheering it on for the last 3-4 years, predicting it, getting it every wrong, and then finally it's and predicted it right.
I don't know if you've seen it, but what I've seen is them dropping on now onto the pre-owned market, and the prices have shot up.
Shot up, but now they're shooting back down again. Huge. I definitely, it's not gone like the Green Submariner was, where it kind of was really quite steady around that kind of low 20s. This seemed to almost go up to the 24, 25 mark.
Yep.
Then whether or not someone turned around and went, why is the white gold one still at 25,000? It's the same watch. And now it seems to be that, I mean, I've definitely got offered them at the day after. It was like 20,000. Then, like, I think a couple of days ago, I think it was, and this is like 3-4 weeks after, I think they're now knocking around for about 16 and a half thousand again. So it's only a couple of thousand more than what they were, in the kind of trade world, back down pricing wise.
So within the same family, Tudor celebrating 100 years.
Wow. Good brand as well.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Tudor.
I'm a Tudor fan.
At one point, I had 6. I've now only got 1.
Yeah, you had a problem.
Yeah, well, many problems.
Yeah, it's one of them. Tudor problems, probably one of the least ones. Yeah, that's still not a bad one to have. It's the ceramic, the all black one.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was really
I
nice.
found a lot of the releases. Actually, I'd even go back 2.5, 3 years with Tudor.
Wow.
I think they've put out some really cool stuff.
They have.
I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think I definitely like the more early days, that more 2014, 2015 period where like you could get the ETA movements and they gave you 2 straps. I remember those days where it was like, get a bracelet and we'll give you a fabric strap for free. And I think it was like low 2s, 2,500 was how much they were. It was great. It was back at that point where I felt like you could go out, enjoy the watch, and maybe when you wanted to try something else, you would maybe lose £200-300. Whereas I feel now, yes, you get Metas. Yes, it's refined. You've got the in-house, and we're back down to, from the in-house 15mm thick, back down to 13mm thick because of the Metas, and it's better. It's like £4,000, £4 and a bit £1,000. You're losing £2,000 if you want to put that back on the market and change your watch.
Yeah.
And I think that's my problem with today's market is it's very hard to justify some of the new watches and the pricing because...
New pricing, I agree.
Yeah, if you go out there and buy some of these watches and you're someone that enjoys the chase and you can't justify having 50 brand new watches that you've bought that you've just written off and you don't care about, if you're someone that kind of needs to flip it or sell it for the next piece, it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really painful. But yeah, Braemont.
Yeah, which obviously we've done an episode about before, which was episode back when...
We praised them.
And we praised them, but we were a bit cautious. We sort of said we like what they used to do, and now it's just a bit... I think I made a bit of a dodgy comment about their logo. Probably didn't win many fans for that. Yes,
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. No lawsuits.
No, not yet.
I've been on their website recently. It looks slick. I can definitely see that. You can definitely tell it's going a different way.
Yep.
So I saw one of the watches, like the Felix one that they had. I thought that was pretty cool.
I saw that at Watchmaker's Day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think they actually got the character and the watch itself looking pretty, pretty kind of good together, which was quite nice. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, £5,500 The new Moon watch.
I was just about to say the Lunar.
Was that 7?
Yeah.
Is that £7,000?
And I understand the offering a diversity within your product range, but you're not Rolex.
Yeah.
And I wonder if their share of the market is big enough for them to be able to dictate having one for space, land, sea, air,
Yeah.
with a comical cat on some of them.
Yes.
I just don't know.
No. I think it's almost I still think with Braemont, they're really unlucky with when they're having their resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you almost look at what Breitling have done with the George Kern and the kind of he's made himself the kind of forefront of the brand and doing the rounds that he did, and I think it was almost from my perspective, it came across as an absolute masterclass on how you elevate a brand. You buy the brand in partnership and you take them to the next level. You really do a deep dive into the catalogue. Braemont obviously don't have that. Breitling did. Working with some the Breitling the Fred guy. I feel like Breitling came onto the market at the perfect point at getting George Kern in. Pre-COVID, people had the money. It was just a different world. Watches were on the rise, whereas I feel like now they're having their resurgence. It's almost the market's going, no, it's getting tough. So I don't know if it's just it's just happened at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It's that classic case of it's a great business model. It's just the wrong time to have that business model. I really hope it works because there's, the Martin Bakers, the design, the case element, some really good models. And in the used market, I've definitely noticed. I went through a period where they were really tricky to move on. Right. I've definitely noticed now they're not tricky anymore. They're not. Yeah. We're almost getting that Breitling effect that I noticed back a couple of years ago where George Kern was there, where it used to be before Breitlings were really tricky to sell. The pricing started to go up. They were more coming into the media. People wanted them, but they couldn't justify that new £6,000-7,000 Navitomer pricing. So they went to the used market. I noticed they become a lot easier to move on. I have started to notice that with Braemont the last 2-3 months.
That's interesting.
So I don't know whether or not that's going to continue, because I always go in, well, how low can they get? Like, you had the U2 model, or less so the Martin Baker, but the Alt 1C, they were hitting mid 1,500, 1,800, and I thought they can't go any lower. They've now started going back up to around that 2 to 2.5 figure again, and I've gone, that feels right. Yeah. That feels correct.
They've stabilised.
Stabilised. Yeah, they really have stabilised. So I'm fingers crossed.
Yeah.
For Braemont.
Shall we have some questions?
Yes. I chucked my piece of paper away though, so I do not know what the questions are.
Right. I'll ask you the first question. You can ask me the second question.
I have not prepared for this at all, so make it an easy question.
So Shane from Glasgow. Thank you very much, Shane.
Thank you, Shane.
What do you think, Tristan, about watch dealers on TikTok showboating about how much money on the watch?
So how much money they're making on the watch? I think my view, like in anything, isn't it? If everyone's got to eat, you buy products on Amazon, there's people making profit. There's, I think my view on it is, some of these people are handing over £40,000. If they're making £2,000 or £3,000 in it, it's their business. If the other person wants to pay it, they can pay it. They're also making content that's watchable. I think people do like that, like seeing that side of the thing. I think the ones I've watched, a lot of the time they're selling to each other, which is how sometimes a lot of watch dealers do work. They'll sell to each other. Each one's making, a couple of £100, maybe a couple of £1,000 each time, and then eventually it ends up with the end wearer of the watch, and that's fine. I think my view on it is that's what they want to do. I think you'd almost have to be somewhat ignorant if you think that they're buying a watch for £40,000 and they're making £250 in it. So that's a serious amount of money, and there is cost. Their time is worth money. If the market dips all of a sudden and they're stuck with that watch like they would do, they'll be stuck with certain watches that you might have to sell it for £39,000 because it's not worth 40 anymore. So you need to recoup that on something else. So I think for the ones I've watched, they're selling to dealers. Naturally, the bigger margin in a watch is if you buy from the wearer and you sell to the wearer. But it's for some watch dealers out there that have different revenue streams, and selling to each other is a way that they'll do it. So my take on it is everyone's got to earn money. If that's how they want to do it, that's how they want to do it. You're not going to make everybody happy in life. You're not going to make content that every single person's going to like. You're always going to get certain people who go, I don't like that, and so be it. You're allowed to be like that. It's your opinion, absolutely fine. It's
different strokes for different folk.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Sophie from Basingstoke.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Sophie. I think I know Sophie from Basingstoke. Yeah, I do. What are your thoughts on super clones? Why do you think the clone markets are getting bigger and bigger?
Right. So I'm going to interpret this question, Sophie, and I hope I interpret it correctly, about super clones as in watches that are trying to imitate actual Rolexes and luxury watches, as opposed to some of the really cheap stuff that you might pick up in, let's say, Turkey or when you're abroad, that you can tell is a counterfeit watch.
On the beach.
On the beach, yeah, exactly. So I actually find super clones to be quite dangerous. And I don't mean dangerous as in the watch themselves, but for someone who is quite active in the watch market, I think you've just alluded to it when your statement was made about tags. people can get duped quite easily with super clones.
They can.
And my concern is not really the person who buys a super clone knowing it's a super clone, because they're going into it eyes wide open. My concern is always the poor person who buys, let's say, a Rolex Submariner believing it to be legitimate. They purchase a super clone, it comes to needing a service or whatever, they take it in, someone opens the back up and says, really sorry, this is not legit. There is also a lot of concern around some of the funding streams with super clone watches. So some of the money is used to fund crime.
Right, yeah.
And that, for me, doesn't sit comfortably. And the third thing I would say is, I would never want to get mugged, obviously, but people, especially in large cities, become a bit of a target if they're wearing a really
There's been
nice
some horror
watch.
stories, isn't there?
Right.
Really horror stories, yeah.
And you're putting yourself potentially at risk over something that's cost you
£500.
500 quid.
Yeah.
I just find I get that you want to be seen to be having a certain watch and to have the prestige that goes with it. But if ever I've handled a watch that's a counterfeit, the soul is not in it for me. We've spoken before, Tristan, about the feel of a watch, what it means to us.
Yeah, the achievement of buying it.
And the sensory experience around it. And for me, having a super clone, I just don't see it. I just don't get it. And I think it can be a bit dangerous as well.
And I do think we've lost a lot of people to watch collecting because of super clones. Because some of them are so good.
Absolutely.
It's almost now it's gotten to that point. It's almost that who's wearing the watch. Is it you're wearing the watch for the right reasons? You're wearing it because of passion, and for certain reasons. And it does scare me. The super clone situation really does scare me because I don't know if enough is being done about it. Like, they are getting so good now.
Absolutely.
I worry now. It's almost, how close are we to watches being? I'm going to tell this story, and this is going to shock you. And I got the proof to back this up. I emailed a major brand, the biggest brand there is that you can think of, the big one. I emailed them and I said, I've got this watch. Could you please check it over? Meaning from like a service point of view, like a health check sort of thing. And really funny. They look after me. They're really nice. And they came back and they interpreted it as an authenticity check. And they came back and said, we're really sorry. We can service it, but even after a service, we can still not guarantee authenticity.
Wow.
That was a major brand that sent that on an email to me.
Wow.
And I went back and said, I meant, can I just have a service? I know it's good, but I was like, I couldn't believe.
That's eye-opening, isn't it?
I looked at that and just went, brands. I'm pretty sure there's been a couple of other brands in the past as well that have actually started to come out and go, be careful now. I wonder and go, is it almost a case of going, we're very close to brands just servicing these and chucking them out? There's also conversations out there being like, where are the actual parts coming from? Are they the real parts that are in the real watches in Switzerland? Where are they being made? There's lots of conspiracy stuff going on. You don't know what to believe. So it definitely, the clone conversation really worries me. Where it's going, how much longer do we have left? Or like, it sounds like super thing. It's almost like, are we 2 years away from being like, they're going to get the movement part right on that Rolex, and it's game up. It's done. How much more innovation can we get in something of that technology level before we just go, we're there? So it's definitely, I don't know where it's going to go, but it definitely worries me. But I don't know what the solution is. I don't think anyone really fully does. I just think you have to be very vigilant, without a doubt. You just got to be careful. Even if you're buying from a professional retailer, a proper retailer, make sure they stand on their product. Yeah, without a doubt.
Sophie, I hope that answered your question.
Yes.
So before we break, with this episode going out next Thursday, but at the time of recording, if that makes sense. But our charity auction is going to be finishing at 8 o'clock tonight, we can say, as we drop the episode in the morning or around midday, whenever we do it. Please, guys, would really appreciate if you can check out the auction. It's on the Mainspring eBay page. if you can bid, fantastic. All the proceeds are going to an incredible charity, Andy's Man Club. If you can't donate, we completely understand. If you could, in that case, share the auction with other people who might wish to.
Yeah,
Be
or
great.
just put some money to Andy's Man Club, even if it's just 10, 15, 20 pounds, you know, just anything. I think it's always tough, but, you know, 2 less coffees that month.
Yeah, it's
Put
a
some
really
money.
worthwhile
It's a really
cause.
great cause, and, you know, I think especially, you know, for myself, I wasn't involved in it, but just to say thank you to Sarah and Craig. It was very nice to give up the time. He was quite jet lagged.
He was, bless him.
Bless. So, jet set lifestyle, but no, so thank you to both of them. It was really, really appreciated. So, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. We'll call it a day there, will we?
We will do. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
soon.